Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the OPA to OPM podcast. I'm your host, Damian Morris. You can find me on Instagram at Railway to Success with my host, Alex and Markel. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What it do? We back for another one, baby.
Exactly.
Another great episode.
Exactly. And today we have a guest Mr. Darren Price. How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
And Mr. Price specializes in the cryotherapy business and industry. And so, tell us about yourself and how you got into the business.
Well, initially, so my name is Darren Price, as he said, that I was born in Temple Hills, Maryland, and I'm a military brat, so I've lived in maybe 10 different states.
Wow, that's dope.
But a lot of roots from Kentucky. I'm a Muhammad Ali bloodline, Cassius Clay. So I've kind of lived in different spots, New Mexico, et cetera. So kind of traveled a little bit,
Okay.
Done some mission work, and got into this business. Speaking of a lot of traveling, seeing a lot of people in different pain issues and, not being able to either afford healthcare, different things of that nature, or not knowing, not simply educated on, how can I get the help that I need, you know what I mean, without being connected to or subjected to a lot of pain in addition to what I'm already suffering from. Specific example is my mom's a 3-time cancer survivor, so I watched her go through 3 bouts of chemo radiation, in addition to other people as well. But she's still living. She's been in remission for like 12 years.
Okay.
Blessings.
So I migrated back up to the DMV, which now live in VA, to come back and actually be her caretaker. But seeing those things happen, it's like, man, I got to figure out some kind of way, we can deal with this without the additional suffrage through medication, the addictions that are placed in it, and different things like that. I took the CBD approach way before it became legal to talk about the extraction of the oil as well as the cannabis, because the oil is what does the healing for cancer.
Right.
But again, it was illegal at the time before COVID, and you couldn't really get the doctors to talk about it, discuss it. So it's like, okay, you're not going for it because it's taken away from their check.
Right.
Because they deal in medication. So organically and naturally, it's like we got to find a better way to heal ourselves and take care of ourselves, especially as a minority,
Right.
as a community, to be educated on how we can heal and use the benefits that we have in front of us to create change, so we can be here a little bit longer than we have been.
All right, so would you say like the cancer treatment with your mom, is that what inspired you to get into cryo?
Yes. With that, initially, it really started hindsight that I did the research on what could help, and dealing with one of my PTs, my physical therapist, through an injury I had a couple of years ago, that she asked me what was I taking, what was I using, medication, aspirin, icy hot, all those biofreeze, heating pads, different things like that. So as I was going through my treatments, she told me to stop using the heating pad. So I was like, what do you mean? That makes me feel better, right? So it's a placebo effect to make you feel like everything's okay. But what it does, it doesn't heal you. It just suppresses the pain because it's heat.
Right.
Heat swells, right? It blows up things. Correct. Same thing with, it does it to your body, right? So the concept, she said, no, you need to use cold treatment. She never actually verbalized cryotherapy, but she said use cold treatment.
Like the rice method.
Right.
Yep.
She said like the rice method. So everything.
What's that?
Everything cold. So.
Can you explain what the rice method is?
So, for example, her explanation of it was, when you're using heat, and I referred to Pharrell before you walked in. Pharrell uses cold water on his face. No heat. So anything that's cold, your body goes into a fight or flight mode when you're cold. When you jump outside, you get a chill. So your body automatically kicks into a fight or flight mode. Apoptosis is what it's actually called, to go into a mode to warm yourself up or heal yourself. So when you have an injury, when you have any type of pain or a skin condition, those are toxicities in your body that need to release. So they come out in different forms based off of the biochemistry of the person. So somebody might get eczema based off of the toxicities in their body, whether it be from alcohol, from stress, it could be anything. So that builds up in their body, so it has to release. So if you don't meditate, if you don't drink a lot of water to stay hydrated, if you don't work out, do those things to kind of bring you some peace and fast, if you will.
Right.
Those things build up and they have to come out in some form or fashion. So it could be from a skin condition, it could be from hair loss, it could be from a heart attack, it could be from an injury, it could be from a blood clot. You name it, those are some of the side effects of stress or inflammation. So when you start adding cold to your body, back to the fight or flight method, what your body does is increases the blood flow. So what that does is it goes to those points of concentration in your body to start to heal itself faster and quicker. Cryotherapy.
So my degree was in exercise science, and I've only heard about this like once or twice. What is cryotherapy, and like what are some of the benefits to cryotherapy?
So cryotherapy, in short, in a nutshell, it's cold therapy, cold treatment, simple and plain.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. When you can Google that right now, that will be the first definition or explanation of what cryotherapy is. It will first direct you to talking about the cryo chambers, which is the full body chamber. It's relative, but it's not that. Again, if you've ever taken an ice bath, it's the same concept. But again, it's a more focused and targeted type of treatment and therapy. So you don't have to disrobe, get in a cold chamber, and you're freezing your whole body. Some people actually, there's a lot of drawbacks from that. When that has happened, people's body go into shock. Different things happen because their whole body is just shut down.
Right.
So
it is a shock.
Because it is. That's exactly what it is. Your body goes into shock. So all of a sudden you get warm. And you know this as a scientist, that when people are found without clothes on, when it's freezing outside, they get hot. The last thing that they almost feel is they get hot. So they take their clothes off. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then
So they're cold and they have everything on. There's nothing left, and they start feeling hot. So they take their clothes off because their body the blood is flowing so fast and hard, it's trying to find something to do. And it's going so fast, molecules, at some point, they go so fast they stop.
Is that what you
And
get like
they
that?
freeze.
Like that itchy feeling from sometimes?
Numbness, I would say so.
yeah,
It's a neuropathy type of feeling.
yeah, because you got like what's called pyroreceptors, and those are more like receptive to like heat and cold and stuff like that.
Correct.
And when you start having, like you said, the coldness, those receptors may start getting blocked, or they start getting confused. They're like, this is so cold, maybe this is actually heat, something like that.
Yes. So with those different things and how those affect, as far as the benefits to your second part of the question, there's about at least five different benefits from cryotherapy, targeted specifically. Again, the benefit of what I do with Glacier Chill on-site and mobile cryotherapy is I travel to my clients instead of going to a brick and mortar. So I intentionally do not have a brick and mortar so that I can meet my clients where they are.
Right. Smart.
Right.
Especially after COVID.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bang. So there's a plus and a focus to that as well. Seeing people that are in those situations where they can't travel and get to those places of therapy, I'm in that market. I feel the niche. to meet those people where they are and bring them what they need. In addition, so what that does cover is we talked about pain management. So with pain management in cryotherapy, again, it's targeted or focused cryotherapy. What that does, if there's an injury, the blood stops flowing in a specific area, wherever that injury is located at. So when you use heat, what that does is it doesn't heal. It increases the swelling, technically speaking. So, and it doesn't heal. So when the blood flows, the pressure of the CO2, carbon dioxide, basically, is what that will create. And it can get down to 39 degrees. And imagine 39 degrees getting straight to one focused point. So when it touches that area of pain, it immediately feels numb. Neuropathy is what you might experience, the tingling sensation, right, or the pins. That's the basic side effect of something that concentrated and cold hitting your skin.
Now, I was going to ask you, so taking a couple steps back, you mentioned your mom and, doing cryotherapy. How have you seen that help her and benefit her?
So with cancer and treatments, different medications, you experience side effects. So we talked about that. So you do experience swelling in the ankles and different parts of the body from a lot of treatment over a period of time. So what that is also is swelling or inflammation. And it's a lot of that is from medication. Because right now she's got a box of pills that she's on, and it's just like those have side effects, right?
Correct.
So I'm like, how can we beat at least that part of? So we started there, right? So immediately after the first treatment, there was an immediate effect. You could see this ankle,
The swelling going down.
the swelling going down.
It's crazy.
Almost I'm not going to say almost. It was after the first treatment.
So you just took one treatment?
One treatment, and this is, again, I will give you your money back. This is not a gimmick. This is health is your wealth. Your wealth is your health. And this is a prime example. This is not like, something to fly by night, but it really works. As far as pain management is concerned, that's the same concept because you get swelling, so there's inflammation that runs there. So with that pain management concept, it automatically, when it reaches that temperature and the particular device, again, that's for later, that particular temperature of 39 degrees in a focused area, what that does is your blood starts to circulate immediately to that area. Because your body in that area is saying, hey, something's happening. Let's go. Your blood cells are like, yo, we got a situation. So that's technically, in layman's term, that's what's happening. Your heartbeat's pumping blood. Everything starts to happen. So what it also does for you is it helps your immune system. It boosts your immune system. It gives you energy because you're getting the blood circulation in the places that you don't get it, which is where you might ache from. Pain management. So that's number one. So the second thing that it covers is the facials. We were talking about cryofacials. So the tightening of the skin. Again, when you apply cold pressure, imagine going outside, it's cold, your face feels hot first, almost instantly, and then you recognize cold. The heat is your blood vessels and cells are like, oh shit, it's cold. Let's go there. That's what you're feeling. So even when you're in the cold, your skin is tightening because of the blood is flowing there. So what that does is tighten your skin and gives you that tight skin look on your face or anywhere else on your body for that matter.
Right.
So that's something that it also covers is skin tightening because it's cold treatment. The third thing that it covers actually is skin conditions. We talked about that. So skin conditions, again, it's helping you rid yourself of toxins that are in your body and how they come out. It could be anything, psoriasis, sciatica, any type of pains or skin conditions, you name it. It covers the same concept. It removes moles, warts,
Wait, moles and warts. How does it do that?
So it freezes them. I think
They just pop off or something?
Now, I'm not gonna say pop off. I hope they don't just pop off, but I've never had them pop off yet. Not gonna say it's not gonna happen, but it's possible. No. So what it does is it immediately freezes that area. So there's two phases to that. So you're thinking about the spray of the CO2 that comes out. Now there's also a nozzle that is actually frozen to a negative 140 degrees, a negative 140 degrees, that touches the skin or the face, and it's a rub. So, and again, I have those right there, but it's a double kind of treatment. So first, you get the treatment on the face itself with the air to kind of bring the temperature down, to get the blood flowing. Now, if it's a specific area on your face, whether it's the puffiness or the wrinkles, crow's nest, anything of that nature, then the focus becomes with the different type of thing that goes against your skin, and we just rub, and it's negative 140 degrees.
So it's just a cold feeling on your
It's
face.
a cold feeling on your face. So if it's touching a wart or a bump or something of that nature, it's immediately going to freeze. Immediately freezes. So what that does over time, it eventually just there's nothing there. It freezes. The cells are frozen. There's nothing. There's no circulation in there anymore.
So you're basically like killing it by freezing it.
Yeah.
Well, how many sessions do you have to have for like a mole or something?
So,
like a crow's nest.
Crow's nest, crow's feet, crow's feet nest.
Yeah, crow's nest. That's crazy.
So typically for like a cryofacial, which is skin tightening or skin conditioning, that's 3 to 5 sessions is always a recommendation. You automatically see a reduction after the first session. I intentionally take photos, which you sign a waiver. Should you want to do that, you can do a before and after photo. Typically, those sessions are 15 to 30 minutes. It just depends on, the severity of what you have.
How much is a session?
So each session right now, individual sessions, depends on if it's a facial, et cetera, they average around $60 to $70
That's not
per
bad.
session.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you was about to say like 80.
Well, yeah, 200.
Well, we do have the cryofacials are about 120 for the cryofacials. The pain management, they start at around $70 per session. Now, the best offers are the packages. I sell everything in packages because you're gonna want to get at least 3 to 5 sessions. So I start out with 5 sessions or $4.99, but actually I give you a free session on top of that. So it's really 6 sessions for $4.99, plus the free consultation. Again, it's personalized. We sit down together. We build that plan out to each person, and we go from there as far as what that feels like. The frequency of the sessions. Typically, it may be once a week or twice a week, depends upon what you're trying to achieve. Again,
I was about to ask next, like, so how often should you?
right, that's up to you. So if you're a diehard, I gotta get it now, 2 to 3 times a week, which means you probably want to get like an 8 or 10-pack session, which is always an additional session on top of that. So what I'm saying is it's always +1.
Okay.
So I'm giving you that. So the max sessions that I do have are 10 sessions, which is technically 11 sessions. Those are $24.99. I don't accept insurance just yet, but you can also file a claim for the orthopedics of the treatment, which is the pain management and certain things. Now, the aesthetic side of the treatment, most insurance companies don't accept that. I do accept HSA.
And you say the aesthetic side, is that like the facials? Or what is
Right. So I'm certified in aesthetics and orthopedics to use the Sub-Zero equipment for cryotherapy treatment. So the aesthetics portion is more so like the pain management. I mean, I'm sorry, flip that around. The ortho side, which is where the pain management comes from, that most insurance cover, because it's kind of like going to a chiropractor or PT, something like that. So a lot of athletes use it.
Right.
and the
Speaking of that, with PT and like a chiropractor, you go a certain amount of times, and then it hopefully you don't have to keep coming back. Is that the same thing with cryotherapy? Do people have to keep going for an extended period of time, or when's the end date?
There technically, again, it's like, hey, is it just a sustained? It's an injury that just happened, or are you doing something in your line of work or duty that you're constantly prone to an injury or prone to those types of stress levels? That's going to determine how many times you should go, or how frequently.
So
that you
someone like me
should.
who's a firefighter or EMT, where I lift heavy stuff, running into burning buildings, and I'm dealing with stressful situations all the time, what would you recommend?
Thank you for your service.
So yes,
I appreciate it.
absolutely. First and foremost,
I never heard somebody say F the fire department.
No,
Amen.
never ever. I don't think we're gonna do that. So for someone like of your background, what you're doing, I'm always gonna recommend the package because you do want to feel better over time.
Correct.
Again, even after the first treatments, you're gonna feel better almost immediately. But for your line of work or line of duty, I do recommend that you do something kind of regularly, just as you would go to a chiropractor or a PT, because it's not a replacement. I always tell everybody, no, it's not a replacement. It's something that you want to add to your
Supplemental.
regimen, and it's as a supplement to what you're already doing. If you're already working out, keep working out.
And that was about to be my next question. So, like, would you say, like, what if we are healthy? And average gym goers, I know I do go through inflammation here and there, or soreness and pain.
Doms.
Huh?
Said Doms.
Yeah, it's different situation. But what if, like, it's not really like as heavy, or we don't really need pain management? Would you say, like, I don't want to say normal person, but like the average person, would you suggest it to them as like a once a month type of thing, like just to do it, just to
Experience it.
yeah,
Benefits.
and, just to,
Right.
like you said, supplements. You want to take care of yourself,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, for the person, for your everyday person, like anybody, I do recommend it for two reasons. There's two different types of benefits that will help you. Number one, as I mentioned earlier, it's a stress reliever. Cold treatment, whether it's the whole body, on the face, or different areas of the body, it's therapeutic, and it's a stress reliever. So a lot of people go to sauna, they do different things just to not do anything, right? So you can imagine if you have any type of issues after your regular everyday, I'm so stressed. Imagine if you just went and got a facial, or just a cold facial. Your face would feel so relaxed, and that makes your body relax. So it's a stress reliever. If there's no particular areas of focus, just go get a facial.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because like in the sauna, like the heat relaxes, right? You're just so relaxed because the heat is just like beating you down.
Right.
So, and I was going to say, I was about to piggyback off the sauna part, because I'm at I do the sauna like probably like at least 2-3 times a week. But it's also something I want to say either I read or might have been a video on social media. People always saying you need to try this. But how do you feel about going directly from that heat, and then people say take a cold shower right after that?
It's probably the best thing. Nothing wrong with heat. I'm not dismissing a sauna, because I love a sauna too, because it's relaxing. So I'm not saying it's taken away from anything, but if people are on the go, hey, I need to feel better like now type of situation, the cold treatment is probably the best.
I was more saying, so it is beneficial though for you to go from the sauna,
Yes,
the
because
heat to the cold.
because it's a shock.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's like waking yourself up in the morning, like cold shower. Wow. So you're ready to go. You have energy. Your blood's flowing. That's what you need throughout the day to get you going. So that's where the cold treatment comes into play.
Okay. I do want to touch on, because we're on the benefits, and there are plenty of benefits, but I want to talk about like the business part of it, of the industry as well. How long have you been in the industry, and were there any setbacks to getting started?
So this particular industry, I guess we can call that health and wellness, but I'm not going to say I'm a doctor or anything because people kind of run from that statement when they start talking about their health, which they shouldn't be. They should be more wanting to be more involved and concerned about what's going on in their life with their health. So as far as that, I launched this business back in July of last year, 2023. It had been on my plate probably, and I say plate, my vision board, et cetera, easily the beginning of COVID.
Okay.
So a couple of years, maybe 3 years or so. And as I lightly touched on that, as far as the research, et cetera, that's typically where that really boosted from. But the business aspect, it was kind of difficult. Again, I'm a business major, study business management and accounting, but that doesn't make it easier. It kind of makes you more prepared because they never teach you everything you need to know in school, especially not to be self-sufficient or to be an entrepreneur, you know, and that's game for them, right? I'm not saying don't get an education, but I used every tool that I had growing up, running other companies and businesses. And I'm like, wow, I could just do this for myself. You know, I've been in business management for a while. I've done contract work. So I've managed 170 drivers at UPS, package car supervisor, DMV supervisor, you name it. Pretty much I've managed a lot. So I've learned those skills and what the do's and the don'ts of how to move forward in business in general. So from there, I just figured out how to do it for myself. I have a small real estate company and a couple of properties. So those are difficult things to kind of manage. It's not easy, but if it's something that you want to do, you can work hard at doing it. I'd rather work a lot of hours running my own business than punching a clock. So,
All right. We're going to pause for a quick second, all right?
all right.
And we're back.
So some of the setbacks in getting started is a lot of times you think that the people that will support you typically won't. Let me just keep it all the way in line. I'm a 100%er. So when you start thinking about how do I just start a business, you do want to think about there's steps to it. There's a way to walk through getting to what you need. A couple of avenues, of course, you can get an SBA loan, Small Business Association, maybe like $5,000, something of that nature. Find a friend to invest, find investors or partners to help you out with your business as far as what you need to get your business going. You could partner with someone. In this particular venture, I found I can't even really say an investor. I found a partner. I'm a godly man, so I found a brother in Christ who was willing to invest in what I believed in. As far as getting this particular business venture started, I've had several businesses where I've had to start from scratch. So I've gone the SBA route. You know, did that once before some years ago with the small mom and pop cell phone shop. Back now they're blown up everywhere where you have different cell phone services, et cetera, et cetera. So I was doing that like in 2002. Like for real, out in New Mexico in Albuquerque. I was doing that like way back when Cricket first came out. But so this particular venture was just something that I felt passionate about, again, dealing with a full-time caretaker, my mom, who's now 80, dealing with the cancer, seeing other people just suffer, dealing with also how can I make money? How can I leave a legacy for my family? And what can I leave behind to help somebody? So I'm a faith-filled person, so my go-to, even on all of my emails, and you'll find my website that says Philippians 2:4, let us not only look out for the interests of ourselves, but also the interests of others.
Love that.
So that's a true imitation of Christ's humility. Whether you believe in Christ or not, that's not my business. But that's what I lean on because it works for me. in my business. So that's what's made me successful more than anything. But not giving up, continuing just following your dreams, write your vision down, making it plain, start looking for avenues of gaining income without spending money. And what I'm saying is there's a lot of different ways to start a business with income or without income. So what you can do in this particular venture, again, I did find an angel investor to help me purchase some of the equipment to get started. But there was still some out-of-pocket expenses that you have to pay, starting a bank account, et cetera, getting things started. That's typically, if you don't have the startup cash from somebody else, those are steps that you have to take. But number one is believing in yourself, though. Like, before you get even anything on paper, you have to really focus on what you're doing. So the focus is you got to see what you want before it's actually done. And that's writing it down. Again, scripture says, write a vision, make it plain. People without a plan, they won't prosper, they'll perish. Write it down. So think about it, meditate on it, focus on it. Take steps, because there's a journey to success. It's not, and it's never going to be perfection, but just do everything that you do in excellence so that you can get to the next level. But there's steps to it. So when you skip a step, it can be costly. So what I've done was build business credit. I have a complete Excel spreadsheet of tiers of companies that will give you lines of credit. So now we're talking about bread. Each one teach one. If I have this knowledge and I'm not sharing it, then it's no good. I'm a millionaire because I'm telling people this, because they're making money. So there's different tiers to credit building. You don't need to use your own be a PG, a personal guarantor. You can actually create a business, get your LLC through your city, your state, get a business name, business license, pay for that, get your EIN, which is just like your social security number. Once you do that, you get a Dun & Bradstreet number, which is called a D&B number, which starts your business credit rating without using your personal credit. So there's tiers of levels where you don't need business credit to get money or to get things or lines of credit to purchase what you need for your business. So you start out with different places like Quill, Uline, Granger, Home Depot, Lowe's, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they have practically everything you need. Doesn't matter what kind of business that you have. So that builds your business credit. So I went that avenue to buy a lot of the things that I needed for my business. The carts, the CO2 tanks or whatever, Robert's Oxygen line of credit now with them, just from using my EIN. No $50,000 a year that I had to report because I just started it. But you can't go to Sam's Club and try to get a credit card because that's tier 3. So there's tiers even to gaining business credit. You just can't go out there and say, I'm about to go get a Bentley. You might have to go get the little Nissan and be cool with it, and then build from there. Same concept.
Okay.
So that's the approach that I took to starting this business, the approach I'm still taking. The eventual goal is to have my Sprinter van or mobile vehicle to travel to locations to where people can jump on my truck or jump on my van, take a seat, get a cryofacial while they're on lunch, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where the business aspect, business mindset is, because I'm different, because I come to you. No brick and mortar. I'm not shelling out as much as I could. Franchises are about $275,000 to get started. And there's a lot of other costs that go along with it. Okay. That's just $275 on the table.
Right. And you were talking about traveling and stuff, and then off camera, you were also talking about how you travel to like some teams and stuff like that, as well as the fat reduction. So what are the ideal person or someone who would really benefit from this? Because we were talking about average people. What about people who may not be average? Might be in something different.
So Great question. So the way society's made is you have to look a certain way, and then after a while, everybody starts to look the same. So that again, people need therapy of different sorts and different manners. So let's capitalize on the mental aspect first, because it's always a higher level to start with, and then we trickle down to what it looks like. So as far as that's concerned, cryotherapy, targeted or focused cryotherapy, also deals with weight management or weight loss. Cryosculpting is something that they call now. It's different from or cryoslimming. There used to be a cryosculpting where you would go and you'd almost have to pay out of pocket, and then they put this big thing around you or something, and then it actually didn't work, and it had side effects. Not the same thing. This is focused, targeted cryotherapy. That's not the same thing, full disclaimer, because there were some issues with those things that when people tried to do that, and it didn't work. With this, for weight management or weight loss, you typically will see results after the first session within about a half inch of weight loss. So what that does for you and your body, how your body reacts to cold therapy or cold treatment, what we do is use a sub-zero equipment that gets the skin down to negative 39 degrees. So at that point, what your body does, it goes into what's considered to be apoptosis or fight or flight mode. So your body goes into fight or flight mode, your blood starts to flow faster, so it wants to warm itself up or heal itself. So when you put cold pressure or cold treatment or therapy in one specific targeted area, that's where all the blood wants to go. So the blood wants to heal, recover, or help and see what's going on. So what that does is increases blood flow, and it also increases and helps them boost the immune system. As far as the weight management, fat, correct me if I'm wrong, is mostly liquid or jelly. So people think we talked about heat. Hey, you can do heat, and won't that deal with weight loss? Yes, kind of. It will. It takes longer to do that and get to that point. When you use cold treatment, you freeze the fat. So you think about ice, same concept. Water to ice to water. There's nothing in between. So when you think about the fat cells in your body, you freeze the fat cells. So when they melt, they have to melt because your body temperature goes back up to 96 point, et cetera, et cetera. The fat melts. So it discharges through your waste management or your sweat or your glands. So it's almost immediate because even when you're getting treatment in a specific area, your body temperature is still in the 80s, 90s. So as soon as that's finished, your body's going back to its normal temperature because the blood flow is right there to heat it back up.
Right.
So it's instantly melting the body fat.
So you're sweating the fat out.
You're technically sweating the fat out. So again, it's something that you don't want to replace what you've already been doing. If you're working out, if you're drinking water, whatever you're doing, your potions or your regimens, add this type of treatment or therapy to your everyday regimens, and you'll see a much faster result. You possibly could replace some of the things that you're doing that's not working for you without any side effects that you're probably already experiencing from weight loss, such as pills.
Okay. You had a business question, you said?
Yeah, I was going to more so touch on just in case anybody's interested in getting into this field. How long did it take you to get your licensing or the things you need to get into this field?
So, number one, a lot of research. You do not. Again, we talked about this a little earlier about school and education. That education and knowledge is so readily available. Believe it or not, I'm 48 years old. I might not look like it, but I took care of myself. At 48 versus now being in 2024, there's a lot of technology and a lot of different things that have education readily available for you. So a lot of it is self-education, but truly before purchasing this particular equipment, which is called the Sub-Zero, you have to take orthopedics training and you have to take aesthetics training. So it's probably, if I was guessing off the top of my head, close to 200 hours But you have to, again, even if it was 20 hours, you still have to constantly refresh the old 3R method, recite, review. You always have to be rehearsing and practicing and knowing what you're going through, because you can actually, there is a side effect to cryotherapy, which is frostbite. Your skin may not be receptive. Now, the way our product is used is, you mentioned a blue and a red light.
Yeah.
So
it almost looked like fire when it was coming out.
Right, and it almost looked like fire when it was coming out. So the red light technically lets you know, or the person that's administering the treatment, hey, you've been in this spot too long, so you need to move. And if you don't move, the machine will stop automatically to help you assist in preventing any types of skin burn.
Skin burn?
Skin burn, they call it. Freezing, frostbite, same thing.
So
frostbite.
It has a sensor where it's like, oh, you're right here. If you don't move, then it's like, move. And if you still don't move, then it's like, all right, I'm gonna turn off because you're gonna mess this person up. So, and that was one of my questions, is like, because I'm pretty sure the people in the audience would ask this, is like you said, frostbite. Like, if I go outside and I'm out there too long, hypothermia.
Correct.
Right? Why does it not apply to this? Because now you're negative 30 degrees.
Right. So it takes over, well, depending upon the temperature that you're in, as you would know, it would take a certain amount of time before your body actually shuts down. Or in this instance, it's targeted, so it's focused on one specific area. Before this area says, hey, it's going to die, right? The frostbite kicks in, and the cells start to die away. This machine, it's red because it reads it that your specific area is getting to a specific temperature. So it's saying, hey, this particular area has reached this temperature, so it's time to move to a different place. So that's where the blue light comes in. So when the blue light is flashing or it's on in that specific area, it says, hey, this specific area has reached negative 39 degrees. So you're good in this area. So now it's giving you its maximum treatment.
Okay.
When it turns blue. If it's red, it's like too long. And it's going to flash, and then it'll just stop by itself. So it's almost foolproof. You have to really not be paying attention and just sitting here like this. And yeah. So, but it does require, again, certified to use the equipment. You don't have to be licensed. Now check your local state to see what requirements to actually administer cryotherapy, by the way. So I'm licensed in Virginia as an LLC and certified, covered by insurance as well, for aesthetics and orthopedics to administer cryotherapy. So check your local state to see what those guidelines are. You may have to go to school and take a state test or exam or something of that nature to actually be able to do that. But again, you have to check that out with your local areas.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Like, how do you engage or promote your business, like locally, or like what are you doing to bring awareness to your business?
Right now, I've had a soft launch, and the soft launch kind of entails, so the last event that I've been at was the Dream Classic at Bowie State University, basketball tournament. Okay. So I started lightly marketing on Instagram, Facebook, and just kind of word of mouth, next door, you name it, just setting up and just kind of word of mouth with the business. But my niche, and in order to get the exposure that I need, is actually showing up at any types of events that allow vendors. So I would go set up health fairs, any type of events, whether it's private or public, and just set up and offer my services and give samples of my service, which we might get to today, and give samples of the service, talk about it a little bit, get people involved, concerned, educated on what it is. And from there, I've been able to book different events, like people's private events, wedding parties I've done already. Come to Bowie State University and set up during this tournament as a vendor and get exclusivity to cryotherapy treatment. So I had exclusivity to that. I was able to treat some of the Bowie State teams, some of the coaches, some of the teams from out of state that were traveling. So that was a great experience to even expose some of them to something new. And some of them already were aware of it, but it was good to have that experience. So that created a lot of exposure. By the way, I am on Instagram at Glacier Chill 02. That's GLACIER, the word chill, Glacier Chill 02. And that's Facebook as well, Glacier Chill Cryotherapy, Glacier Chill on-site and mobile cryotherapy. Also, the website is glacierchillcryotherapy.com. Or for those of you that want to do the shorthand version to get to the website, it's just Glacier, or actually it's chill with the hyphen or dash therapy. So chill-therapy.com. Chill-therapy.com will take you to the website. It will give you everything about myself. My name's Darren, by the way, and it will give you every piece of information that we're discussing tonight in details, the packages, the pricing, and actually how to get started with the treatments. Again, it has a lot of different things that it can cover, as well as hair restoration. We talked about that too. So that's like the fourth thing. So it's amazing that just one particular product can produce so many benefits for our health that a lot of people are using and take advantage of that we never knew. And I think that's some of me giving back versus to the Philippians 2:4 is to give back and to teach that and leave that type of legacy for people to try to make it a little bit longer than the 70 years for average African-American man. That, you know, that we could live a little bit longer if we just know what we're doing.
Okay, that's dope. Y'all have any last questions?
Where do you see this going, like industry-wise? Because obviously this is something that can be an industry disruptor where we're talking about weight loss, where people go to lipo and they're afraid of going under the knife. Athletes, where you're talking about getting almost immediate results and stuff like that. So obviously this is something that I guess more people should know or should be exposed to. So where do you see the growth, not just in your business, but in cryotherapy in general?
I think the awareness of cryotherapy is slowly starting to become more prevalent in certain areas. So again, this was an issue in lower income areas or neighborhoods. What you don't know is what you don't know. But it's been around for a while. It's even been used in the equine industry, which is the horse industry, for pain and treatment. So if you think about the size of a horse's brain, it's about the size of a pea. So they can't endure a lot of medication that we can take as humans. We can't really take it either. We just are so numb to the fact of it, it just doesn't register. So it's already caused so much damage. So back to the horse's theory that their brains are no bigger than a pea size. So you can imagine injecting the drugs or the pills that we take into a horse. So the reason they don't do that, they find other means of treatment if possible. Also, if they're suffering so much, they either have to put them down because there's nothing they could do. Right? There's not enough. You can't give them medication. There's nothing they could do. So cryotherapy is used in the equine industry as well for treatment of horses. I think that's my next target or goal. But I think just continuing to do podcasts such as this, spreading the word to every community, being able to travel to just pop up. Hey, I'm popping up in the Privacy Spa in Atlanta, Maryland, actually. I'm going to be sharing a spot in her salon that she's just opening up. It's a stretch therapy place. So I'm planting my seeds there in different locations of those types of industries, whether it's like an Orange Theory, et cetera. A couple of days a week, starting to pop up in these places and say, hey, let me treat your clients and treat them for pain management, et cetera. We may work out a package or what have you, but I'm finding that a lot of people are welcoming to it because they don't know a lot about it and they're interested in it. And the ones that have, they're like, yeah, it does work, but I do the full body thing. So this particular thing is new to a lot of people because is focused.
Right.
And again, the fact that I come to you is like it's the killer of everything. As far as my competition,
It's like mobile healthcare, basically.
so technically it's mobile healthcare. In a nutshell, it's mobile healthcare. Again, it's 5 different things that it covers. So I think it's one of the best things going right now in the DMV. I've only seen one other person just start to do it. I'm not gonna mention their name, but it's something rare that's out there right now. There are brick and mortars that are popping up, but they have multiple different types of services. But this is the focus, and the market is everyone, because it helps the elderly all the way down to the youth to deal with pain, even in treatment of animals. More natural, non-invasive type of practice. Carbon dioxide is a gas.
Right.
So when we do administer the treatment, we do want to make sure that it's in an open area. If you want to start really focusing out the downfalls, I can't not talk about that. So if it's in a small confined area, that can become a problem because it is a gas. Not like you're going to die from it, technically, but again, that's one of the other side effects other than we talked about the frostbite.
Okay. Did you want the last question?
That'd be good. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, we got the demo?
Yeah, that's right. You know what? We're going to do it for the first time ever. We're going to do a live demo, and I think we have a volunteer too.
Yeah, so Markel's going to demonstrate.
I'm ready.
So while we figure out who's gonna be the guinea pig,
I thought Alex, you were excited to try out the product.
Yeah.
Oh, so both of y'all want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
So
I ain't going to lie, I'm nervous.
Good.
okay, so
I am nervous.
While we decide whoever wants to do whatever they want to do, we did talk about what this covers. So whoever's going.
I'll go.
So this deals with pain management. We talked about skin conditions.
Hey, I'll bring the mic closer to him.
Oh.
If you don't mind.
This
We
one.
can bring it. Yeah,
Oh,
you
this
can-
one.
Yeah, my bad. I'm used to just talking out loud. So what we're talking about here is we talked about pain management. This also deals with post-surgery as well. It also deals with skin conditioning, so it actually heals scars and wounds as well. So it's a lot of different things. Hair growth, we talked about that. So that people ask about that. How does that work? As far as hair growth, the blood circulation to the follicles. So we put different things in our head, our hair, shampoos, chemicals, everything like that, so it closes them off. So when we do cold therapy, as far as the hair is concerned, we open up the follicles, we get that blood flowing back to the follicles, and then your hair starts to grow back. So same concept.
All right, so which one of y'all gonna go?
So who's going for what?
Okay.
So,
What you about to do?
all right, you can hear me on this? All right, cool. So I know a very common thing is, especially the older you get, sciatica. And I have that, or self-prescribed at this point, but I have all the symptoms of that shooting pain down the leg. I sit down all the time. I'm in tech as well. And I think a lot of people who are getting these remote jobs also are going to start having these problems where they sit all the time and they start losing that blood flow circulation. So I know for me, it's the sciatica nerve where it shoots down like here. So I don't know how that works. I ain't gonna lie. I've never done this before. So I'm kind of nervous.
So let me tell you what you're going to experience since you're new to it. So sciatica is one of the things on the list that actually cryotherapy will treat and practically cure over a period of time. Edema, you name it, all kinds of different things. So with that, yes. Somebody asked me that yesterday, and yeah, I was like, wow, okay. So when you start talking about sciatica, what you're going to feel is going to be cold at first. But then after a second or two, again, you're going to feel the heat sensation. The blood's going to start flowing a lot faster and go to the area where the cold treatment is. Again, it's going to be a little cold for just a second or two. And then after maybe 15 seconds or so, it'll get kind of numb, which is neuropathy. It'll just kind of feel like, okay, well, I don't feel nothing. And then once the treatment's over, that goes away. and then wherever the pain is located, you won't feel that anymore. Almost 100%. So I'm going to ask you now, for the record, if you were to, excuse me, what would be your pain point from right now? From let's say 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, 1 being like I'm straight, but be honest with yourself, and just tell me how you. I'm not looking for a 9 or 10, but how do you feel before this treatment? So what I'm doing is a 90-second only treatment. A full session is at least probably 15 to 30 minutes, based off of what you can stand. And that's part of my job as being certified, to talk with you through the treatment, to verify, make sure, hey, how you feeling? Are you okay? Do we need to stop, pause, etc.? So that's part of the customized treatment that I give with my service as well. So from 1 to 10, how do you feel right now?
I probably say like 6, 7, just like sitting.
Okay, so that's pretty steep right now, to be honest. Anything over a 5, that's I feel it more than I need to be.
Yeah, because it's like I said, when I'm sitting, it's like shooting pains all the time. That's why I kind of like pivot and stuff like that all the time.
So how long have you had the sciatica that you think?
Probably 2018, 19. Yeah, because I was doing Uber and Lyft. I was driving 8 hours a day on top of sitting in school, on top of going to work, sitting.
So you and I just met you tonight.
Yeah,
we have a lot in common. So I have a CDL license. So I've been experiencing the same pain. I used to work in the office a lot too, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So you're gonna see the difference.
Okay.
That's why I end up in PT, where I was telling y'all, same thing that he just mentioned. That's why I figured out that heat is not it. So let's do this.
Let's go.
So I'm gonna let you hold the mic.
So, hey, hold on. We got big disclaimer. Big disclaimer. There's a big pause on everything that you see from here on out. There's a big pause on everything that you hear on out.
Okay.
My man dropping the pain.
Yeah.
So, again, to add to the disclaimer, this is different from the cryo chamber, where technically you would have to fully disrobe, etc. This is a focus area. This treatment works best when it's directly to the skin. It does work through thin layers or items, but preferably the best treatment recommended is to the direct skin.
Okay. All right, we're going to try for the thin layer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So, no, I did. You just come from the gym, so.
All right, so your pain right now,
like right here.
You said 6 to 7, so it's back here in the back leg area, back thigh.
Yes, sir.
In this area, and typically with the treatment, yes, I use gloves and all that kind of stuff. So
let me.
if something happened, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm just kidding. So, all right, so we're gonna turn this on. It's gonna be loud for just a second.
Okay.
Big pause again.
We can turn this stuff down.
Big pause.
That's not too
I gotta
bad.
rotate the leg or something. I don't know.
Not too bad.
You wanna go through that or above it?
Yeah, we go.
I need you to get the full experience.
Yeah, right there is cool. Big pause.
Yeah. Try to get my man's right.
Watch immediately. Watch.
Exactly. Immediately.
Now, watch. Now, if it.
I'm only gonna do 30 first.
Expeditious.
What's 30?
I'm only gonna do 30 seconds.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, that's
before
right.
You squeal, then
I don't, like I said, I don't know what to expect. So,
Well, you used to live school buses, bro. You good.
it's gonna be cold.
All right, baby.
Let's see.
Let's do it.
That's not bad. It's like a cold day.
Yeah, I can feel that.
All right,
Cold
never
air
mind.
right
All right, that's cold.
Hold on.
All right, that's cold.
This man twitching like shit.
Yeah, that's cold. Nah, you good.
Yo, this is must-see television right here.
All right, yeah, it's cold now.
All right, we'll pull away.
Pause.
Hey, yo.
All right.
Was that 30 seconds?
He got it in 30 seconds. He got it in 30. I gave you. You was right there.
Hey, yo.
You was on 30 seconds.
Good quickie.
How you feel?
Numb.
All right. So we got.
Woo.
So again, this is very impromptu, but technically speaking, so we done not a full minute. We didn't even do a full minute of the treatment. First time ever, and his first response was it was cold, right?
It's still cold.
And it's still cold. So you have to think. So and this also reads your body temperature. So I know exactly what's going on with you before you even tell me.
Okay.
So I know, hey, okay, once it's negative 39 degrees, remember we talked about the red light, or 39 degrees, whatever the symptom is that I'm treating,
Right.
it's going to tell me what your body temperature is in that area. So I know, like, okay, we're reaching the optimal.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't
temperature.
really feel. It's crazy because it's numb. Like I don't really feel the pain no more right now.
Right. So technically, that's the first response,
Right.
as it should be. So what is happening is the blood flow is so fast
Yeah.
right now, and it's going to the area that I was concentrating on, which is the sciatic area. So what that's doing right now is we talked about the whole conglomeration of weight loss, all those things. So it's penetrating, and it's going straight to those areas.
Pause.
So you can stand up. Stand up.
Stand up, man.
You can walk around. It's not. You're not gonna feel. Let it penetrate.
Let it penetrate, baby.
but it's exactly
love
what you
this
said. Though.
episode.
It's like that. Whoa, this is like. I almost feel like the leg is asleep.
Right. So that's always the first outcome, and that's a typical standard reaction from it because it's cold treatment, and it's focused.
Yeah.
So just like the ice bath, remember, your whole body is numb.
Right.
Remember you said when I play sports, my knee, okay, get in the ice bath. Why? My whole body got to get in there for my knee? Different things like that. This is more focused and concentrated. Same concept because your whole body goes into shock. Your body still went into shock.
Yeah.
Your body went into shock. That's why at first it was like, all right, okay. You probably felt warm up here, but it felt cold back here.
Yeah, it felt like a cool breeze just going through. Like
Oh yeah, we felt
Right. You
Pause.
felt it. So it's a lot of pressure.
Couldn't wait to
Yeah,
get
so
that
it's focused. It's a lot of it's cold air. Again, it's frozen, 39 degrees. So once it touches your body, you're gonna have that feeling and reaction. So and you feel that numbness or neuropathy is what it's called.
starting to feel the warm sensation you talk.
Right, because that blood is flowing, and now it's like boom, boom, boom. We gotta
Yeah,
we gotta fix it. Your blood cells is like we gotta fix it. We gotta fix it.
Crazy.
I see you had surgery right there too. Do you think that has an effect on your
Nah.
how you pronounce it, sciatica?
Yeah.
It could.
I mean, it could, but I doubt it because this is the tendon. But you're talking.
Do
about
you have pain on the tendon still after your surgery?
This is numb. I can't.
You can't feel it. Okay.
That's not.
Cause see, that's what's something that we would treat as well.
Yeah. But that's a major thing that you're talking about, where it's just like athletes have a lot of pain where it comes like ACL, MCL, PCL, sciatica is another big one that people start having. And I think as more and more people have remote jobs or just work at home jobs, office jobs, they're going to be sitting a lot more. So this is something where like even if you go to corporate events for like IT events,
Correct.
a lot of those people will be like, yeah, I got this, but we don't want to talk about it because it's like, I just go through it and I ain't really about to just like deal with that.
Right, because they almost think it's normal because they've dealt with it for so long.
Yeah.
But then,
to the seatbelt?
yeah. And
And
then,
we're gonna wrap up in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
so, and that's the thing with, and that was to your question as well. Like, well, where do you see it going? What's the next thing and how we're going to get this exposure out there? It's unfortunately, things happen that raise a light on things that were in the dark. So when you start talking about COVID, different things, it brought an exposure to, hey, people's health issues. Right.
I feel like it's burning now.
So
crazy.
right now you're burning now. Now it's the blood. It's
Never
the
burning.
blood flow. So you're
Never burning. It's a burning sensation.
Oh,
Never burning.
man.
I ain't
Oh
burning.
man.
okay. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That does not happen. It does not bring whatever you have. Well, okay. I'm gonna do some research on that part, and I'll get back to you. I'm about to add that to my disclaimer on the contract. In all seriousness, though.
Yeah, we were talking about just like other aspects where it could be like useful.
Yes. So we talked about the athletic. We talked about the equine industry. We talked about just the pain in general. We talked about the weight loss. We talked about the beauty, the aesthetic side of it, which is the cryofacials. Skin conditions can fall under aesthetics as well. But more so the biggest thing is aesthetics on the aesthetic side, which would be weight loss or cryosculpting if you want to call it that. That's where the industry is now. Again, it used to be Hollywood kind of stuff, but now insurance companies are starting to accept it as a therapy or treatment like chiropractics or PT. So I don't accept insurance right now. Again, as I know we're going to wrap up, I don't accept insurance right now, but you can still accept the treatment from me. You can file it as a claim. I cannot guarantee. You have to check your local, with your insurance company. They'll probably accept a orthopedic treatment versus aesthetics, like all insurance companies anyway. I do have financing plans available for you, though. When you click the website, you can find that option there as well. You'll find the packages, the pricing, everything. Disclaimer.
Which we'll put in the description in the video as well, a link to the site.
Yes, so he'll drop all the info there for you. All the information's on the website for you. Everything that you need to know. You can reach out to me directly as well there, and I'll make
Tell
sure.
the people one more time where they can reach you.
So you can reach me. Go and give you the website. It's glacierchillcryotherapy.com, or also it's going to be chill-therapy.com. That's my website links. You can find me on Instagram under @GlacierChill02, or just on Facebook under Glacier Chill, and I will get you together. Just reach out to me. Remember, I travel to you anywhere in the DMV, and I get you taken care of on site.
That was a very dope episode, one of a kind episode. Honestly, we'll take care of that. You can just sit it down.
Pause. That was a mini pause.
We gonna add a pause.
He be on some get back since that. Since I feel it.
Hey, yo,
that's what you said. But anyway, that was another great episode, one of a kind. Thank you, Darren, for your time. Thank you for blessing us with your presence and giving us a live demonstration. That was something that we didn't expect. We were glad that we were able to give that value. And hopefully the listeners or viewers got value from this conversation. We learned about the business, and we learned about the health effects for it as well. And so this was a very informative and might have been one of our best episodes, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just by like the engagement, I could see like my co-hosts were really engaged in the conversation. So thank you again. Thank you for your time. And Alex, you want to close us out?
Yeah, man.
What's your pain point, by the way, at this point?
I'd say like 3. Yeah, like 2, 3. Yeah.
So now that you can feel everything,
Great penetration.
you went from a 6 or 7 to
I
a
want to
3
close out.
to a 3. All right, pause.
I want to close out.
Go ahead, close out.
Nah, but definitely appreciate it and I could see like you were saying, just after one session, that the benefits could really just be there, and now you're able to go to different audiences and stuff like that to show, hey, these are the different areas that could impact your life. These are the different ways that can help you aid in your life, right? And so now that's a way for you, like you said, for you to be in business so that you can start making your own money. And that's how you turn OPA
To OPM.
There it is.
Peace. Thank y'all for tuning in.